Welcome to Echoes Untold, where we journey into the depths of history, unearthing forgotten tales and unsolved mysteries. Today, we dive into the tragic and mysterious fate of the USS Grunion, a U.S. Navy submarine that vanished without a trace in 1942. For decades, its disappearance puzzled naval historians and the families of the 70 brave crewmen who served aboard. No distress signal was ever received. No wreckage ever surfaced. It was as if Grunion had been swallowed by the sea itself. Then, nearly 65 years later, a modern discovery would finally bring long-awaited answers. What happened to USS Grunion? Was it lost to enemy fire, mechanical failure, or a tragic miscalculation? And how did a determined group of family members solve the mystery? Let's embark on this deep dive into history. This is Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. World War II saw the rise of submarine warfare as a deadly force in naval battles. The USS Grunion, SS-216, was one of many U.S. submarines commissioned in response to Japan's growing dominance in the Pacific. Built as a Gato-class submarine, she measured 311 feet long, carried 24 torpedoes, and was capable of submerging up to 300 feet below the surface. After her commissioning in April 1942, Grunion was assigned to Pearl Harbor for final testing and crew training. Under the command of Lieutenant Commander Mannert L. Abele, the submarine and its crew quickly demonstrated remarkable skill. Abele, an Annapolis graduate with extensive experience, was known for his calm demeanor and tactical expertise, qualities that would soon be tested in the unforgiving waters of the Aleutian Islands. In June 1942, after successfully completing its shakedown cruise, Grunion received orders for her first war patrol. Destination: the remote and frigid waters of the Aleutian Islands. While the Pacific War was largely defined by battles in the South Pacific, like Midway, Guadalcanal, and the Philippines, another, lesser-known conflict was raging in the North Pacific. The Aleutian Islands, a desolate chain of volcanic islands stretching from Alaska toward Russia, became a key battleground after Japan launched an unexpected attack on Dutch Harbor in June 1942. Following this attack, the Japanese occupied the islands of Attu and Kiska, establishing bases to threaten American and Soviet supply routes. In response, U.S. forces moved quickly to disrupt enemy operations, using submarines to sever Japanese supply lines. Grunion was assigned to patrol the waters around Kiska, a mission that would prove both treacherous and fateful. By July 10, 1942, Grunion had reached the Aleutians and wasted no time making her presence known. Within days, she sank 2 Japanese patrol boats and severely damaged a third. Her reports back to headquarters were filled with promising news. She was an effective hunter, and the enemy was on edge. However, operating in the Aleutians came with extreme dangers. The freezing waters, unpredictable storms, and nearly constant fog made navigation difficult. Submarines had to rely on sonar and periscope sightings, both of which could be hindered by the poor conditions. On July 30th, Grunion sent what would be her final transmission, reporting multiple successful engagements and requesting orders. But before she could receive a reply, she vanished. No distress call, no debris, just silence. For weeks, naval commanders hoped she had simply suffered a radio malfunction. But as days turned into weeks, it became clear, Grunion was lost. In the immediate aftermath, the U.S. Navy had no clear answers. No Japanese records indicated an attack on a submarine in the area, and no other American vessels had witnessed an engagement. The official report simply stated that USS Grunion was overdue and presumed lost. Over time, several theories emerged. Japanese counterattack. Some suspected that after her last transmission, Grunion encountered a Japanese warship and was sunk by enemy fire. However, no Japanese records confirmed a direct confrontation. Mechanical failure. Operating in Arctic waters placed immense stress on submarine engines and hull integrity. A catastrophic failure, such as a battery explosion or leaking ballast tanks, could have caused the vessel to sink. Accidental self-destruction. Early in the war, U.S. submarines were plagued by faulty torpedoes. These torpedoes sometimes malfunctioned, circling back to strike the very vessel that fired them. Could Grunion have been a victim of her own weaponry? For decades, these questions went unanswered, until a determined group of family members took the search into their own hands. Mannert Abele's 3 sons, who had grown up hearing only fragments of their father's story, decided in the early 2000s that they would solve the mystery themselves. Using newly declassified Japanese records, they found an entry in Japanese war logs describing an attack on a freighter called Kano Maru in the same waters where Grunion was patrolling. According to these reports, Grunion had attacked Kano Maru, firing several torpedoes. However, due to a known defect in early U.S. torpedoes, many failed to detonate. One, however, found its mark, damaging Kano Maru. The Japanese crew retaliated, firing at the submarine with deck guns. This information led the Abele family to commission an undersea search. In 2006, after an extensive expedition using deep-sea submersibles, the wreck of USS Grunion was finally located. It lay a mile beneath the surface, remarkably intact but with severe damage indicating an internal explosion. The most likely scenario: one of Grunion's own torpedoes, malfunctioning after launch, had circled back and struck the submarine. The resulting explosion would have caused catastrophic flooding, sending the vessel to the ocean floor within minutes. The discovery of the wreck was both a breakthrough and a solemn moment. After more than 60 years, the families of Grunion's crew finally had closure. Today, the submarine remains where she fell, a silent memorial to the 70 brave men who perished. Their story is one of courage, sacrifice, and a relentless pursuit of the truth. USS Grunion may have been lost in the chaos of war, but thanks to modern technology and the dedication of those who refused to forget, her legacy endures. If you found this deep dive into history compelling, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue uncovering the whispers of the past. Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. Fact-checked note: the information in this episode is based on official naval records, declassified Japanese war reports, and findings from the 2006 expedition led by John Abele and the Lost 52 Project. Sources include the Naval History and Heritage Command, Silent Victory by Clay Blair, and first-hand accounts from the Abele family's investigation.